Yes, it is Martin Pratt that's starting, as I'm looking at Will Pratt on the pit wall, and James Black is starting the fourth pit car, and Andrew Wall is starting. That leads the way at the wheel of the Mini. Sam Polly trying all the way around the outside of Ray Barrow and makes it stick at the wheel of the Mini Marcos, which goes through and up into second position. Just needs to be careful he doesn't understeer wide as he comes out of Murray's. So we've had plenty of shuffling in the early stages, but it's Chris Watkinson that leads the way over the start-finish line. The Mini leads, Sam Polly there in second place, but under pressure from Ray Barrow, who in a straight line is able to carve his way past at the wheel of the Chevrolet Camaro. Of course, he's got to break that little bit earlier again, and when they get towards Ritchie's, is Sam Polly going to try all the way around the outside? I think he might, you know, and makes it stick. For John Wolfe, the pole sitter, he's down to 7th at the end of the first lap of the race, and has got the number 69 MGB Roadster of Stephen Collins trying to mount a challenge on him. So it's not been the best of first laps for John. But as I say, John was saying these were the conditions he didn't want. Ray Barrow and Sam Polly still at it together. Both cars delivering pretty similar lap times, but in hugely different ways. Of course, the twiddly parts certainly play into the hands of Sam Polly, but the Senna straight and the Bentley straight really play into the hands of the 5.7 litre Chevy Camaro of Ray Barrow, who's raced this car for a very good number of years now. So they're fighting over second and third place. The Mustang fastback of Jason Andrews still sits there in fourth, ahead of Martin Pratt, who's there in fifth position, but under attack from Dean Halsey. Stephen Collins has also made it through and ahead of John Wolfe now, so John Wolfe has dropped down into 8th position at the wheel of the pole-sitting car, and he's got the Triumph TR6, which will be Bailey Mountain, queuing up behind him at the moment. So we really have had some significant shuffle in the order. The rain's starting to fall a little harder. Stephen Collins at the wheel of the MGB nips up the inside of Dean Halsey. So that'll be, is that up into 7th place, or is that 6th place now for Stephen Collins at the wheel of the MGB Roadster? He is hot on the heels of Jason Andrews, so I think that's up to 5th now for the number 69 MGB. It loops out in a straight line to the V8 American muscle powered car. It moves out in a straight line to the yard. Lap out, and it heads back past it as well. Down the motor straight. Braking area in Brooklyn. And Alfred. On the back. Down here with Will Pratt. Will, there was some rough yesterday. The dry conditions were slightly wetter today. The learnings from yesterday, the dry conditions are slightly comparable to today, or is it learning it all again?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday I was in a completely different car as well, a much more powerful car. And so not only has it been adjusting to the rain, it's also been adjusting to being in a slightly different car, different brakes. So today's been a lot harder in terms of getting to the pace, but my dad is out at the moment doing a really good job, and he was in this car yesterday, so he's had a bit of experience, but it's definitely a lot more scary and cautious in the rain. We both just don't want to put it in the barrier, to be honest. That's kind of the main thing, and then a good position would be a plus.
Do you have to do much to the setup, or is it a case of just lower those tyre pressures and see what it's like in the wet?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I know the tyres have a lot of tread on them, so they should be, you know, all right. But I'm not 100% sure, to be honest.
Perfect. No problem. Well, best of luck for the rest.
Thank you very much.
In the meantime, Mark, back up to you. Thanks a lot. Yeah, you'd have thought they'd maybe soften up the suspension on that car as well. So John Wolfe, who'd gone backwards, has started to gain places again this time through. He's up to 6th position. Martin Pratt up to 4th place. Sam Polly back up into 2nd, having gone past Ray Barrow. So it's still shuffling around at the front end. The rain's starting to fall a little bit harder now than it was at the beginning of the race. So it's going to make the track that little bit wetter now, but Chris Watkinson coping with the conditions beautifully well in the lead of the race. The Mini leads by 7.6 seconds after the first 2 and a bit laps of racing. Further down through the order, John Wolf fighting away with dark blue Triumph TR6 that sits behind. Also making progress, Johnny Wheeler at the wheel of the shuffling in the order. Queuing up behind that. Stephen Collins is under attack from Dean Halsey. Then it's going to be the TBR Grand Tourer, which will be next up, which is Ivan Haywood, who started 16th on the grid, and I think might be inside the top 10 at the end of this lap as they head over the start-finish line. Where is Ivan Haywood? Let's have a look. He's 9th, yeah. So another 2 places gained from the TBR Grand Tourer that time through. That's the dark blue TBR, just heading up towards Ritchie's Corner now. So some brilliant squabbles all the way through the order. The fight from 5th backwards, all of the cars are separated by pretty much just tenths of a second in reality. And that's a big train of cars that's heading in towards the braking area now for the Wilson hairpin. And we've had more changes since they came over the start-finish line, because Stephen Collins was 7th over the start-finish line. I think he's up to 5th by the time they get to the Wilson hairpin. Yes, he is. Yes, because 2 places lost by the Ford Mustang Fastback. So every time you look at the order, it has changed again by the next time you look at it. So Stephen Collins has managed to escape the grasp of those that he was doing battle with. Up towards the braking area for Agostini goes John Wolf in 6th position. He's got Jason Andrews right behind him. Tail end of that little train of cars is going to be the number 52 Datsun, which is the second of the 2 Datsun Z cars we've got in the field. That's going to be Mike Stevenson, and he started 22nd on the grid. Into 14th now, but he's making good progress. Last time through, Ray Barrow had blocked his way back past Sam Polly. That was over the start-finish line, but by the time they get to Ritchie's, of course, Ray Barrow had to break that little bit earlier, so it may well be that Sam Polly is back into second. If we do it, way motion as well. Right at the front end of the window, so we might see John Wolf with TBR Tuscan coming at the end of this lap and over the start-finish line. Tracks on our racing away. Now open. Starting to come under attack from Martin Pratt, who's there in 4th place. Jack?
He is indeed. I can see John Wolf's team ready to receive him, so you should imagine he will be coming into the pit lane at the end of this lap, as you said, but he's still got that penalty to not only serve, but to try and overcome as well.
Seconds for him, the win at Cadwell Park and the win at Silverstone, 2 back-to-back wins. Then he knows what the task is for part 2 of the race, to try and make up for that additional 40 seconds he's having to spend in the pits compared to everybody else. Bailey Mountain looking to try and sneak up the inside, the Triumph TR6. He looks across to try and work out exactly where the Grand Tour is of Ivan Haywood. Well, the answer is trying right the way around the outside of Ritchie's is Ivan Haywood and hangs on to the place. So that slightly wider line, the karting line almost, the less polished tarmac allowing a bit more grip in these tricky conditions, which are neither wet nor dry, just that horrible in-between at the moment. And I'm sure there'll be a few of the drivers, when Jack chats to them, would just be saying, yeah, we'd rather it be fully wet or fully dry, not this wishy-washy in-between we've got at the moment. But the fights have been fantastic. Every time you look, the positions have changed. For instance, that time through, Martin Pratt up a place, Sam Polly down a place, he's now down into 4th place. Stephen Collins was 7th, he's now up into 5th at the wheel of the MGB. And then we see Jason Andrews at the wheel of the Ford Mustang, because the conditions are getting worse. He's dropped from 5th down to 7th, up 4 places that time through. Car number 80 was up 4 places, which is Callum Tonks in the MGB GT. So that's been some good progress there. So cars all weaving around up towards Oggie's corner. Dean Halsey under pressure from Ivan Haywood's TVR. Ivan Haywood coming under pressure from Bailey Mountain's Triumph TR6, who's trying to weave his way through. Ivan Haywood up the inside of Dean Halsey gains the place over the Datsun. So Bailey Mountain's going to have a good run as well. Dean Halsey's a little bit wide coming out of the wheel. Straight line. Yard round Shore, having lost the place to Ivan Haywood, he's going to get it back down the Bentley Straight. Start finish line now with 24 accelerating his way towards the conclusion of the lap. 3rd place is going to be Martin Pratt at the wheel of the Morgan, who stays out. 4th place is Sam Polly, who opts for the pit lane this time through. So Sam Polly is the first of the pit stoppers to come in. And then we should see John Wolfe, I think, at the end of this lap dive from the pit lane. Remember, John Wolfe is not just as quick as he can get out of the car and back in again. He's then got an extra 40 seconds to spend in the pit lane. And also Jason Andrews in the Ford Mustang Fastback dives from pit lane this time through. So more cars heading towards the pit lane. And most of these have been at the sharp end inside the top 6, the top 8 in this race. So John Wolfe comes to a halt. Door opens, in jumps John, seatbelts back on again. Sam Polly already having dealt with his pit stop. It's amazing considering how small the Mini Marcos is and how tall Sam Polly